So next up we have Ray of Light by Madonna. Now this album is my all-time favorite Madonna album. It's my all-time favorite. And there's a lot of reasons that it is. For me personally, this album, 1998, in March of 1998 is when it came out. And it really marked a huge sea change for Madonna in her music, and an incredibly, probably the most mature and artistically expressive and emotionally raw album she'd ever done at that time. And incredibly, there's a huge change in who she was, and you could see it. And she had at that point been into Kabbalah for a few years then, and she had had her first child, Lourdes. Of course, those are big, major changes in a person's life, religion, of course, as well as having a kid. So, of course, they changed who she was. And it was reflected, of course, in her music. And Ray of Light was an incredible surprise to me, because when I first heard it, I remember listening to it in my car. I was working. I was 23. How old was I? Oh my God, how old was I? I was 23, I think. Yeah, 23. And I went to the store to get, on my break, I was working for the YMCA downtown, and the office is there here in Dallas. And I went to the store to get it, put it in the CD player, and played it on my lunch break. And I was just blown away. And I still am today. The whole album I could just go on and on about, but I'm going to play Ray of Light first, and I'll play others later in the show. But this song is about, essentially, well, you can kind of pontificate about what exactly it's about and what it means to Madonna, but it's really kind of an up-tempo dance pop song. It has a lot of techno in it, but it's different sonically, the way the music was arranged by producers. And she really felt like her life had changed, and she really felt that she had come to a new place in understanding of herself and the world, and about what it means to be, alive and human, and what the real meaning of life is. So that's what this song's about. Ray of Light. Be back after this. All right, so that was Ray of Light by Madonna from Ray of Light. Next up, we have a song from one of my all-time favorite albums as well, Erotica. This album, by the way, was completely overshadowed by Madonna's sex book. As you recall, from the 90s, 1992, I think it was when it came out. And Erotica was about sex and about the hypocrisy of sex and about what was how Americans and in society in the world in general were hypocritical about sex, how you could show a mass murder, violent mass murder, bloody and just horrendous to children on a movie screen, but to see two people having sex was just horrendous and unacceptable, or to see just the human form naked and raw, or just sexuality in general somehow was considered to be taboo. So this song is essentially about taking power back of one's sexuality and being sexual, being free, and being unapologetic for it. Just being what you are sexually and not having to have any fear or remorse or any kind of shame about being sexual. This particular song is about her taking control, and the album is about that to some degree, but specifically the sex book that she did was about taking control, her as a female taking control and being calling the shots sexually, which was a kind of role reversal as we normally see in porn or soft porn or pornography. So Erotica, the song Erotica, is about that, and I'll be right back. right, so that's erotica. Next up is a song that is arguably her most famous song of all. She actually released this song as a B-side to Keep It Together in March of 1990. And it was just meant to be a throwaway. It wasn't meant to be something that she was going to release as a single by any means or put on an album or whatever. And so she recorded the song and was inspired by some dancers and choreographers she'd